Welcome back to Dreamin' Dragons. Usually when you see the L sign, you might associate it with loser. Today, the L stands for L-cut graft. Here, I'll walk you through how to nail the perfect L-cut graft, as well as getting twice the varieties from your branch. If you can spare the 2 seconds, liking and subscribing to the channel will do wonders to spread my content and help the wider dragon fruiting community. Plus, will help you keep up to date with all the dragon fruity goodness we have going on here. So today, we're going to smash out a graft, as well as get twice the bang for your buck when it comes to space management, whilst maximizing varieties. I've covered the basics of grafting in a previous video, which I'll link in the description. But to briefly summarize, when it comes to grafting, you'll need a rootstock or a cutting to graft onto. Today, I'll be using a mature pink panther cutting. You'll also need your grafting material, sugar dragon in this case. Once you have your materials ready, it's time to get started. The L-cut graft gets its name from the shape left over after you make a cut in the rootstock. I find it easiest to cut accurately when you draw the section you want to cut out first. You don't have to go all the way down to the cambium layer, the inner core. It works both as flesh grafted to flesh or core grafted to core, though I do have a preference of core to core with this technique. I first try and get a perfectly flat cut through the inner core of the cutting, which as you can see takes a little bit of fiddling around. I then try and do the same thing with the sugar dragon grafting material. From the pressure of the camera breathing down my neck, I make a few poor cuts through the grafting material. Firstly, not quite reaching the cambium, then it just got worse from there. My second attempt with the last bit of material was a much smoother and accurate cut, going straight through the center of the core. At this point, I line up the cores, firmly tape them together. The next step is the trick for getting bang for your buck. It's always good to cut off the nodes or spikes from the rootstock to ensure energy is diverted towards and through the grafted piece. Today we're going to get rid of the majority of these, but leave 2 or 3 at the top to hopefully give us a few viable nodes of both the pink panther rootstock and the sugar dragon grafting material. Once I've finished the graft, I place it in a plastic bag for about 2 weeks to keep up the humidity. When our plant grows, we should get branches of both varieties, meaning 1 plant, 2 flavors. Jackpot! Here's our graft a few weeks later. As you can see, the graft is taken. It's not as plump as you'd like just yet, but that's because it wasn't rooted. It'll be right down the track. So yeah, thanks again for joining us today, guys. Cheers.